What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Read a great article by Michael Russo of the Star Tribune of Minneapolis. Did a great job on Mikael Granlund. Obviously signed a entry-level deal with the Wild. Comparing who's a better prospect, Charlie Coyle, obviously Weymouth, Massachusetts native, and or Mikael Granlund, the Wild's other top prospect. And for me, it's comparing apples and oranges. You're looking at two different players who play two different styles and products of two different systems, two vastly different systems. Let's start with Granlund. He's undersized at 5'8" and 175 pounds, but he's been playing against men since he was 17. So you look at it that way. And this year with Helsinki, the Finnish League, had 51 points in 45 games. I believe he led that team in scoring. At 20 years old, playing against men. Now Charlie Coyle, obviously, we talked about ad nauseum on the show, going from BU, where he had 14 points in 16 games, to the St. John Sea Dogs, where he was MVP, won the Guy Lafleur Trophy, as playoff MVP of the Quebec Major Junior League, and has had a great run. Pretty much the same. I think they're a couple days apart, birthday-wise, so that actually even helps me. Yeah, they're both 92s. Coyle's March 2nd, and Granlund's February 26th, so less than a week apart. Wow, so even more things to make it more objective. But in terms of who's more ready for the NHL, it's tough because you'll get Coyle. He's a bigger kid, more physical, plays a more pro-style game from what I've seen. But Granlund's an offensive dynamo that's been playing against men, for the last 3 years. You look at Coyle, playing the oldest kid, play against the BUs, 24, maybe 25. One of those kids that did 4 PG years after high school. And then you look at, even St. John, those kids play against 21, 22, or even 20, 21, not even that old. Versus Granlund, who was playing as full adults. Billy Pelton was his line mate, former NHL grade this year. Wow, I'm looking at this team, a couple of beauties. I really stand out on you. But, going back to the difference between the two of them, I think Granlund will be on the opening night roster. I'm 99% sure he will be. Doesn't mean he won't get sent down. Obviously, we're 6 months away from... Actually, no, we're 4 months away from NHL training camp. So, we got a long way to think about it. But I think Coyle might need time in the AHL. I think, he's... The St. John Sea Dogs are playing chess, and everyone else is playing checkers. Now, that the other night's loss to London notwithstanding, just kind of... That team's great, and he's a great player playing in a great system. I think that's really brought the pro style thing to his game, where you're playing games on a more condensed schedule, on a more night in, night out basis. I think that's what makes juniors almost closer to the pros in college hockey. The college hockey pundits are going to say, well, the kids are older. And look, that's not what I'm here arguing. The pro style game is there. They're both versatile enough to play center and wing, and they've both done it on different occasions. But I think time in the AHL, if he needs it, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Coyle. Meaning, he's never played against men. He's never played against men on a night-in, night-out basis. That's what playing for the Houston Aeros of the NHL will offer him. I think if you look at a guy like Granlund, like I said, he's been playing against men for the last 3 years. Charlie Coyle he's played for 5 or 6 different teams the last couple of years. That's not a knock on him in any way. But you look at the competition difference. There's a reason now, and he's a great player playing in a great system, but you put a guy like Granlund on that St. John Sea Dogs team, and you're looking at, a guy who probably could score 100 goals with Huberdeau. I'd put it this way, I could score 15 goals with Huberdeau, and I'm not that good, so go off that. But, I really think Minnesota, what do I think of the Minnesota Wild for next year? We're still, 6 weeks away from free agency signing, or 5 weeks away. Parisi, Suter, if one of them ends up there, maybe not. But there's going to be growing pains next year. I'm going to come right out and say it. You got to be breaking in a ton of young players. Coyle's going to have, he's either going to make it open tonight or be up for, after 20 games in the AHL and stay in the NHL for the long haul for the next, 15 years. You're looking at a kid with Granlund. The offensive numbers will be there, but the plus minus might not be that great. The defensive awareness playing against, NHL level competition, that'll take its toll. But Minnesota's going to have a long year next year, and I think that's kind of, if anything, a good reason to keep the kids on. Let them have a trial by fire. Zach Phillips, St. John Sea Dog will definitely get time. Jason Zucker, U.S. World Junior, great. We'll get time with the team, and they'll continue to grow. And like I said, they'll part of the whole building a winner in Minnesota thing with Fletcher. Let's see what he can do. And so, to answer the question, gonna take the cop-out answer and say the biggest difference between Charlie Coyle, who's better, Charlie Coyle or Mikael Granlund, is that they both excel at the facets of what make their game strong. And one of them's an offensive dynamo, the other one can put up offensive numbers but play a physical game, and provide you with great two-way presence, leadership, face-offs, and all that. So that's all you're looking for. Like I said, it's comparing apples and oranges. Two different players that have come up through two different systems that will help make the Minnesota Wild contenders for years to come. That's all I got on this episode of Power Play with CJ on the Michael Russo article. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.